Zoom recording. I don't have to switch a host. So that's delicious for me. I like that. All right. So welcome to Wednesday Night Zooms. This is the hacks discussion. So I'm going to mute everybody now. I think I can. Maybe I can. I don't know how I can. Just a second. I can mute everybody. Yep. Current and new will be muted. Okay, perfect. Except for me, right? You can all still hear me? Okay, cool. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate that. Rather than the like, you're like, I can't hear you. All right. So first of all, I actually think these are my favorite out of all of the bee jewelry and everything else. I mean, I like a dangle earring. I like a fancy stuff, but I don't know about you, but I like things I can just wear on a regular basis, like easy. It doesn't feel like I'm overdressed. I live in the land of yoga pants, and being too shishi is not often a great thing for me. So I do like having like a simple stud, very on trend, very cute. So if you haven't made it your mission to earn those earrings, do it. You want them, I promise. I just came back from a $300 facial, and I want you to know that I went to the facial without any cloths or order forms or profile card. That was fun. So I had to do the order through our Instagram and text back and forth with her on the way after I got home. So yeah, it was a brand new client too, and nothing. I had nothing. So I want you to know if anything sparks for you, great. I hope that anytime that you're on with me that you're like, all right, it's kind of okay if I'm a hot mess, because I can still be a top director and be a hot mess. All right. So some of the different hacks that I've done in my business are time management hacks. Sometimes they're like personal hacks. Sometimes they're product hacks, all of that. So I'm just going to go all over the place because like I said earlier, I forgot that it was me today. That's my own issues. So I didn't have anything sort of really prepped in advance. And I was just running around making dinner and making sure that everything's ready because, you know, it's a crazy day for me. So I might be all over the map. If there's anything you have any questions about, you know you can Facebook me. It's fine. I will answer you. I won't be like, well, you should have gotten that from the Zoom call. I know you were there. You're fine. Okay. Rhonda, I see you too. I'm going to put you on the list. All right. Hi. Okay. So one of my favorite hacks to do, I don't know about you, but when I don't have things prepped in my starter kit, if it's collecting dust, or maybe I did a bunch of weird parties and I had everything all mixed up. You know how sometimes you're doing like just a brow party and you don't bring all the same things or whatever, then I don't ever feel confident in getting those bookings done. I always feel like, oh, I shouldn't because I don't have my stuff already. So one of the things that I did early on in my business, you know, you're going to have people in your life that are going to go to Mary Kay heaven. This is the reality. People buy the kit and do nothing. And so there are lots of mirrors kicking around. Lots and lots and lots of mirrors. And so I want you to know that it's okay if you have 1,000 different mirrors. So what I used to do, and what I haven't done in a long time, but I just pulled it out just to show you, was that I would take a profile card and an order form and a catalog and a mirror. Hi, Crystal. Hi, Steph. Okay. And a Q-tip or a couple of Q-tips, a mascara wand, cotton pads, pen, everything, and I would put it into a freezer bag from Dollarama. The medium-sized freezer bags fit all this perfectly so that it's not floppy. Don't buy the expensive Ziploc ones. You're not trying to preserve meat here, right? They're just cheap. Like just buy the cheapest ones. It doesn't matter what they have on them. And I just would put everything in there. Now, the only issue is make sure your mascara wand is inside your catalog so it can't get all fuzzy from your cotton pads. And that will save you from showing up at a facial like I did today without an order form, without a profile card, and without a cloth. So I would make sure I had everything in there. And it was great because then when I was doing my order, I could go, okay, I only have 10 of these made. How many more cloths do I actually have? How many more trays do I actually have? Because how many times have you gotten to a party and realized you only have 4 cloths left? Just me? No? You know? Okay, and then the other thing I learned is that I should always keep emergency mirrors in my car. And I actually could have gone out to the car to go get it, but she had a washcloth handy, so it was not a big deal. And I just did everything on my phone through Pink Office anyway. But And I had pre-profiled her anyway. It was fine. But I have emergency mirrors. I have a couple of these little bags in my car. And so in the Cadillac, underneath the back area where the spare tires should be, and there is not one, which was a fun surprise when I went to change my tire and realized there wasn't one. Apparently they're run flat tires, so you don't need to, and then you just call the people and they take it away and then they give you new tires. But I put them there because one time I showed up at a party, it was 8 people, I had no mirrors because I had told Scott to wash them and he did, but then he didn't put them back in my kit. So I showed up and there was nothing. So I really recommend keeping emergency stuff in your car just in case. You never know when you might need it, when you might have an opportunity to do things like that, okay? So what happened in that party, she didn't even have a compact. She had nothing. She had no hand mirrors, nothing. The husband went upstairs and he had to take the mirror off the back dresser and undo it. And then all these women are like crowded around this big mirror that was all dusty from their bedroom trying to do their makeup. Not fun. Okay, so that's one of my hacks for my kit. The other hack for my kit, and I left it in the car actually, is that I don't use the starter kit bag for most of my parties. I love it, but it's just too small. Who's with me? And everything's spilling out, and then you just look like the bag lady from Alcatraz or whatever. It's not good. So I like to use one of those 31 gift bags, those totes, the rectangular ones. Okay, and then roll-up bags. Those are my favorite for transporting everything because then you can just show everyone the roll-up bag right there. You don't have to take a separate one. So I love to do that. I have my foundations in one roll-up bag. I have all my skincare in another one. And then I have one of those, we had these plastic ones that came out a little while ago. They were like limited. They had 3 different pouches. I have one that I keep all the rest of the glamour stuff in, and it's just easy so that I can keep everything together. So an on-the-go appointment, I would use my Mary Kay starter kit bag for. So if I'm just running over to test her foundation, that's what I'm going to use. I'm not going to lug that whole great big bag over. Okay? So that's one of the things that I do in my kit as well. The other thing that I do is I make sure to edit my kit before I go to somebody's house. Do not bring everything you have ever sold in your whole life to the same appointment. Why? Will you get a follow-up? No. And then she'll say to you, well, what about foundation? And you'll be like, oh, I should have brought it. No. Now you have a foundation follow-up appointment, which is what I did today. So I gave her CC cream at the appointment. She was like, I don't usually like CC cream. I like something a bit more coverage. I was like, that's cool, but it's super overwhelming to give you everything at once. And then you're just totally like confused at the end. And you're like, we put a lot of crap on my face and I have no idea what's good or not. Right? And now I have a follow-up appointment booked, which of course I'm going to turn into a group gathering. Okay? Any questions so far? Those are pretty simple. If I've said them before, I'm sorry. Sometimes it's like, do I say that a lot? I don't know if I say that a lot. Okay? The other thing, you know these. How many of you use these at your appointments? Okay, how many of you don't? Can you tell me, you can unmute yourself, tell me why you like them or why you don't.
It gives them a sample of what they might like.
Okay, yeah, it's a full look. So you like them. Okay, who doesn't like them? Who doesn't?
I use them as backups. I always bring them in I do use my starter kit at every class, but it's organized. But I keep them as a spare just in case they've done like Goddess on the Go or something before already.
Yeah.
And also I use them as like a little goodie bag thank you gifts.
Awesome. Okay. Anybody else?
I use them at my appointment and I use them when I'm doing my clothes and trying to get my follow-up appointments for them to look at, and then they can look at other colors at their follow-up.
Awesome. Okay. So there's lots of schools of thought about this. I have, of course, every single color in the palettes, and I usually demo straight from the palettes. So I just spray them down with rubbing alcohol in between appointments. It's fine. Okay. So I do demo straight from there. Mary Kay never bought you a diamond ring over samples. But when you're having a party and you're trying to demo from the palette, This can equal disaster. Fair? Everybody's digging and you don't know who touched what, and it's different if it's a facial because they can sanitize in between, but if they're double dipping their brushes and everything else, I'm just like, ew. The other thing too is most of the time at a party, I'm not doing full glam. I'm usually doing like Goddess on the Go. I call it a 5-minute face. So usually that's all I'm doing. Now, how many of you struggle at a party to get them away from the freaking table so that you can do the close? Yeah? This is how I get them away from the table. So I give them these to play with. They each get one and a Q-tip. Enjoy. And a cotton ball. Okay? In their eye color. And I give them to everyone except for the person I'm taking away. Because all you have to do is break the seal. It's like the first pee when you're drinking. You just have to break the seal and get one person out. Okay, so all you have to do is just be like, okay, so Christine, you're coming with me. Everybody else, here's your color cards, just play. Then you don't care if they're double dipping. If they want their own like skin issues, they can deal with that themselves. This is a great way, and make sure you don't give everybody the same colors. Okay? It's an awesome way to do that. I don't love to hand these out a lot. Like I don't put them in gift bags that much or anything like that. I usually use these at appointments. If I want to sell somebody a full look, then I will look at a look like this, but I usually have that set up in my palettes. So I have the color looks that came out when Chroma Fusion first came out. I have them organized like that so that I can just go through that list and just pick a color look for them. Super easy. Now I want you to know the reason why I will use these as an appointment, especially at a party or an appointment where I want to recruit. Why do you think I would use these instead of my palettes? Do I want to look like the freaking expert all the time? No. Because if I look like I'm so amazing and I always know what colors go well together, she is not going to want to sign up. She doesn't think she can ever do that. So if it's a follow-up appointment with somebody and I've told her that we're going to do makeup, but I'm like, that girl's got to be on my team, and I know she maybe struggles with confidence, these. Make it easy. Makeup for dummies. Anybody can read and do these. Now, as a customer, I loved these. Like, loved. I remember that poor consultant, the first glamour party she ever did, and she gave us each one, and we were like, no, I want to try a different one now. And we probably went through $30 of the samples, but she let us, so whatever. Same consultant who only gave me half my nose for microdermabrasion, and I bought everything, but then let us try all this color cards in different colors. And it used to be like different skin tones and everything. Do you remember that? Like, this is 15 years ago, and it used to be like Tawny Goddess, and it wasn't just eye color shapes. Like, it was like, there were about 15 different color combinations that you could pick. And we played with those like crazy for like 2 hours. We didn't need instruction. And so sometimes what the mistake you're making with women is that you think you're supposed to guide them through all of this. And then your party turns into 4 hours. They can read. And if they can't, they've got bigger problems than eyeshadow. So my advice is use these for parties. Even a glamour on the go, it doesn't matter, because you can always say to her, let's pick a different look for your next appointment, and we'll actually use brushes. Because a cotton ball is totally different. Okay? So use those for parties. That's my advice. That's the only time I use them is in a group gathering. Or samples. If I'm doing a special look or whatever, I'll put together samples. As long as they're together. I miss the samples that used to stick. I really do miss that, because I used to stick them to index cards and they would be a full look at the party so that I didn't have to worry about it, but whatever, it's fine. Okay, so that's one of the ways that I get people away from the table. Always pick at the table, my Mary Kay hack for that. First of all, you have to have an office set up already. You have to have a station set up. You cannot set it up later and hope they'll follow you to your chaos. I started carrying a TV tray with me in the car. You can buy them at salvage centers and, you know, Salvation Army and Goodwill. Just a TV tray. And then I can run out to the car. If I get into her house, I don't bring it in right away. But if I get into her house for the party and I look around and I'm like, oh my gosh, there isn't even a place for me to sit. Right? Or like it's like one little tiny coffee table that I'm supposed to be bent over on. That's nice. That's professional. Then I just whip out to the car and grab it. and I set up a little office. Okay. I use my laptop at every appointment. I don't use all the other stuff. So I have my laptop set up. So I get it set up with the Wi-Fi. I have it set up over there. It's done. It's ready to go. I have the goodie bags over there too. They do not get their bag until they come over and see me. And I do not do any prize draws till later, till after everybody's ordered. Because otherwise you're sitting there for 27 years and you're like, you guys, I have Netflix to binge. Could you hurry up? Right? How many of you give catalogs at the table? Big mistake. Huge. You think it's going to increase your sales? No, it makes everybody distracted. And then they're just flipping and flipping and flipping. And it takes 27 years. Damn it. They get a catalog once they've ordered. Circle the things they didn't get. They tried that were still on their wish list and hand it to them. They can take that back to the table and play with it. But nobody gets a catalog till it's over there. And if people are like, what, don't we get catalogs? No. I'm holding them hostage. Hurry up. What you need a catalog for? You know what you want. You know what you love today. If I give you a catalog, you're just going to double the stuff you're spending on. Is that what you really want? They're like, no, I already have stuff I want. Yeah, so I'm not going to confuse you. That's it. Easy. I'm sorry. My kid's coming home. Okay. So that's the first thing. So I bring them over and you always pick either your most negative Nelly, you know, this one. No, as long as it's not coconut oil, whatever. Okay, that girl, you're going to take her first, or you're going to take, don't say who's got to go first, because it doesn't matter who's got to go first, because you're not doing the draws till the end. Now, these are things I have done. So I can tell you for sure, that's not my kid, that's my husband. Okay, I can tell you for sure that that doesn't work. Okay? So be like, I know you guys want prizes, so we're going to hustle this up. We're going to be really fast. Oh, you're going to be like, Christine, come with me. Sorry, Christine, I'm just going to pick on you tonight. All right? So you're just going to pick her. So you either pick the biggest influencer in the group, the one who's going to go back and be like, oh my God, yeah, I totally bought all this stuff. It's so great. I love it all. Or you pick the most negative Nelly. Not the quietest one. And not the one who's like, hurry up. Because the one you want to be like, hurry up, you want her to be close to last. So she's like, move it. Okay? So you're just whipping them over there. The first thing you're going to say, you're going to look at them, you're going to be like, okay, what are you getting? What do you need? That's it. Like, not, oh, yeah, all this stuff. No. And then my personal Mary Kay hack is I call them all the next day. And that's my interview. I call everybody the next day. And I just say, listen, okay, we just met. We don't know each other very well. I know that I can figure some things out. I'm pretty good. But if I don't call you tomorrow and figure out some more stuff for you and fill out this profile card, we're both going to be sad because I'm your beauty BFF and it's my job to make sure that you get what you want. So is it better to call you tomorrow on your way to work or during work or whatever? Pick 2 times that you can call. It's a 10-minute conversation. And you're just like, I don't want you to, like, a contour kit comes out and I'm like, Selena, you would love this. And you're like, Carol, I don't even have time to pee by myself. My kid doesn't even let me go pee. Like, I can't contour, right? I want to know what you like. I want to know what you didn't like. And I know that sometimes you might have regrets about things you bought or things you didn't get tonight. And you might want to add to that. No big deal. So I'm just going to call her. I'm going to ask her a few questions about her life, like what makes her happy, what brings her joy. And then I might say to her, and I always say to this, I don't say might. I always say, if I were to hand you 10 grand tomorrow, I'm not gonna, but if I were, what would you spend it on? And then ask her questions about it. Ask her, oh, I'd go to Disneyland. Oh, would you make it a surprise for your kids? Like, what would that be like? And what's your kid's favorite character? And oh my gosh, how much would that cost to do that? Do you have a plan for getting that money? Do you have something set up, a savings account, something that you're doing, a way that you're making that extra cash? Well, you know, Desiree, I didn't call for that today, but if you did have an extra 10 minutes, I could tell you all about it, how you could maybe make that money in Mary Kay. Is there any reason why you couldn't hang out with me for another 10 minutes? So instead of, oh, I'm going to book a coffee date for next week. And then next week comes and she's already talked to 72 negative Nelly friends. And then she cancels and you're like, I had 12 interviews booked from the party. I'm awesome. No, they're all gone. Because Susie Q did Mary Kay once for 13 seconds and then said it didn't work. Right? So I'm not calling her for an interview. I'm just calling her to get to know her. And genuinely, I want to get to know her. It's not an agenda. It's not because I want to sign her up, because sometimes I don't, because there are people I don't want on my team, and that's fair too. And so I might not ask her that. But I usually just want to know about her life. Okay, so that's one of my hacks too, is that's the way I get the follow-up interview. And if I didn't get to seal the deal at the follow-up appointment, which I hope you have for your calendar at that time, then that's a great time to book that too and make sure that date works for her. So it also simplifies that process, because I'll just say to her, well, let's get it on the books right now so I can give Crystal the hostess credit for having you have this extra appointment, right? And then when I call you tomorrow, we'll make sure that date works. Done. Boom. Yes? Okay, goodie bags. Here's what I used to do, and I don't recommend this. Oh, hang on. Scott, dinner is in the oven. Okay. Is that I used to make my goodie bags before every party. Just before it, right? So I would pre-profile the guests. And if you're not doing that, please do that. And if you don't want to do it, if you don't want to do your appointments full circle, I want you to picture calling up Mary Kay Ash or getting to her office and looking her dead in the eyes and saying, I think I'm smarter than you. Picture yourself doing that. If that makes you go, then knock it off and do what you're taught to do, because that's the deal. You got a full circle, okay? So you have to pre-profile. So when I pre-profiled before, I would say, oh, do you want candy or chocolate in your bag? And well, won't that be so exciting? And I'm gonna make it customized for you. And you know what? That's a lot of garbage. If you're only doing it once a week, fine. If you're only doing one party every quarter, fine. But I wasn't, and I haven't been. And when I was in DIQ, I didn't have time for that garbage. So I started doing my goodie bags in advance. And so assembly line those. You can label them. You can have them in different boxes. So you have a normal to dry, a common to oily, whatever. But honestly, since we don't have skincare samples anymore, I don't have to worry about that. And I don't ask them that for their goodie bag. I just get them to call me or text me, or I call them for their goodie bag, but just so that I know what to give them at the table, not for their goodie bags. Okay? So I just say, you're going to get a swag bag just for coming. And I do say swag bag. I don't say goodie bag. Goodie bag feels like a children's treat party thing. Now, there's lots of ways to do a swag bag. There's lots of different things that you can do. I know, like, if you want to, you can order those little canvas makeup bags from China. They're $1 each or something. I love these. These are from Amazon. They say thank you on them. And I think they're supposed to be for cookies. I do. I think they're supposed to be for cookies, but they hold my business card perfectly. I don't like to give a lot of product away, and I don't like to give away a lot of samples. So here's my other hack. Go to Ardennes. You know Ardenne, it's actually Ardennes. I had to look it up, and I had a whole discussion with my daughter about it, what it was actually called. But go to Ardennes. They have 2 for $5 grab bags up by the till. They're pink. Okay? Get them. They're a business write-off. And then open those suckers up and take the earrings off so there might be 8 pairs of hoop earrings on there. Okay, take them off, split them up, and then those can go into goodie bags too. Socks, goodie bags. Sunglasses, cell phone cases. I don't care if you're like, I don't think she would wear this banana clip. If it's free, it's for me. People like little treats. Correct? They do. They don't care. So mine will be like, I just put them, I make them in advance. They go in my pegboard on my office, and this one has earrings in it, and this one has earrings, and that one's got a couple of samples, and a mini lip gloss, and this one has some hair ties. All of my business card in. This one has socks. Okay, that one's got a butterfly clip. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. And the same little gifties go into my customer orders. So I'm not spending a ton on them. There's usually at least 10 to 15 things in each of those bags, especially if you get the earrings that split up. So that's pretty economical to create these little goodie bags. And my customers love it. They love the little socks. They love the earrings. They don't need samples all the time. And we think they do, but again, Mary Kay isn't paying you in samples. In one eyeshadow is plenty in there. Like one eyeshadow sample, I mean. A mini hand cream. Get those PCP lip glosses and split those up if you want. But I honestly use those individually, like bagged up for prize gifts at the party. So I don't do them as like, okay, just a second. You are making me crazy. Could you be louder? That's super distracting. I'm like dying over here. He's trying to be quiet and it's like, slam, 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 pull the chair out, slam. I'm like, really? Can you hear him? Mm-hmm. I can. And in a second, I'm going to hear him eating. This is what 20 years does. I'm telling you, I'm just going to, okay. So, distracting. These are my things. And my kids helped me do this in the very beginning. They just did them all the time. We just split them up and did it. And if you make them all in advance, you make like 50 or 60, you never have to worry about it. They're done. Okay? So that's those party hacks. Those are my little things. I always bring one to every facial as well. Facial to me deserves a little goodie bag too. And I give it to her at the very beginning. Like, for real. He's just, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's so loud. He's like moved the chair and table like 12 times. Enjoy my life. All right. So the other thing that I love to do is I love to give customers another reason to purchase a product that doesn't necessarily have to do with its main reason. So for example, After Sun Gel, it's brand new and it's out, right? How easily can those of us in Canada market an After Sun Gel in February? Anybody? Bueller? Unless somebody's going on a cruise. They're not stocking up on this now because they don't think they're ever going to get a sunburn because they don't think they're ever going to see the sun again. So they don't want this. Fair? Unless they've already like fell in love with it and they know it's going to sell out because it does every year, then they're not down. They don't care. So what do you have to do? You have to market this in a different way. Do you know all the stuff this does? Yeah? No? Do you know this is an amazing hair gel? Like for curly haired people, they put this in their hair overnight and wake up in the morning and it's perfectly naturally, beautifully curly. Amazing. You can use it for anything like cosplay. I sell this to a lot of my Comic-Con people to put underneath their wigs, like under the wig cap, because it gets itchy and hot under there. So if you know anybody who dresses up for Comic-Con, trust me on this, wigs get hot. They're heavy and they're itchy. Anybody in chemo, anybody who gets any sort of itchiness all over their body and doesn't want a really heavy moisturizer. There's like a ton of different hacks. In fact, I actually have it in a graphic. Just a second, I'll read you all the ones. This was everything from my customers personally and customers in other like the director groups and stuff that said what it does. So I always say that. Now, this isn't Mary Kay sanctioned. I'm sure that they are like, oh, I don't know. But, okay, psoriasis, eczema, under a wig, frizzy hair, or to enhance curls. For a bald head moisturizer, how many of you know somebody with a bald husband? You're going to get off this Zoom call and they want you to message them right away and be like, girl, I just heard this most amazing thing. Okay. Hives, bug bites, diaper rash and cradle cap, poison ivy, pet itch. So I don't know about you, but my dog gets hot spots where there's all like itchy all over and he gets like bleeding and stuff. The only thing that ever worked on him was After Sun Gel. So when you know those things and you're super excited about those things, then guess what? Now it's easy to sell this in February. Fair? Mint Bliss Lotion. I call this menopausal mint. It is always in my purse, always in my purse, always in my purse. Everywhere I go, I'm like this. I just take it and I put it right here on the back of my neck, and it's like a muscle rub, and it feels so good, and it smells good instead of smelling like A535, an old man. And if you're hot, you can put it on your trigger points. So on the back of your neck again, on your inner this, what is this called? Your elbow pit? I don't know what that's called. You can put it there, put it on your wrists, put it behind your knees, put it all over your body and walk around naked. It's like a personal air conditioning because the breeze against it makes it cool down. It's true. And yes, you can put it on your feet. And yes, you can put it over top of your pantyhose, which is pretty cool. But how many of those are you actually selling in a year then? I think I sell probably 20 to 30 of these a month. A month. My customers call it menopausal mint. They call it that. Can I get some more menopausal mint? Legit. That's what they call it. And I'll bring it out and I'll put it on in front of people and they're like, oh my God, you smell so good. I always think of Mean Girls when they switch out her face lotion for the foot lotion, and then he's like, you smell like peppermint. Okay, it does. It smells delicious. It's a muscle rub, so it's great for that. It's great for restless leg syndrome. So if somebody's like, you know, has trouble calming down their legs, growing pains, kids with growing pains, it's great for that. And it doesn't feel like a great big gross old man lotion. Or like the stuff I get from the acupuncturist and I smell like I'm a 98-year-old Chinese man. It's not good. Who hasn't bathed in 3 weeks. It's not good. So I love this Mint Bliss lotion for that. Okay, I call it that. Finishing spray. Restless pregnant legs. There you go, Nadia. Exactly. Finishing spray. I don't call it finishing spray. Guess what? Most of my customers couldn't give a rip if their makeup stayed on all day or not. Is that fair? Like to say? Most of my customers, I mean, a cream eyeshadow is a little out of their reach. Like they're not doing full contour, full everything else. Fair? They're just into skincare and a little bit of CC cream. I might get them to do their eyebrows. So then I say to them, oh, well, this makeup lasts really well, except now you need a spray to keep it on longer. And they're like, no, I don't need that. But do you know that finishing spray actually cools your entire body down by at least 2 degrees? Okay, do you know that it actually helps with sweat? So Lori Hogg figured this out. She's a makeup artist that works with us a lot. And she was doing a photo shoot where everybody's wearing white t-shirts and they kept having to take the shirts off, wash them, hang them up, get them dry and blow dry them and then put them back on the girls because it was so hot and the sweat kept showing through. And then she's like, hang on a second. She sprayed them all down with finishing spray. No more sweat stains. Okay, so I call it Swass and Swoop spray. Legit, every time. And they order it like that. Swass and Swoop. Sweaty ass and sweaty boob. Crotchal spray. It's really, honestly. And I mean, you may not be able to see yourself saying that, but that's okay. Just think about the fact that a lot of your customers are hot in the summertime. They want something that helps with sweat. They want something that cools their body down. Do you know you can apply this more than once? So they can keep it in their purses. And it cools your body down. It helps to filter your makeup. And if your customers have issues with blending, like especially blush or whatever, do you know this acts like an instant blender? Spray it on and your face is diffused. And it looks like you took a lot longer to do your makeup than it did. How many of you want to buy finishing spray now? How many of you are going to break out Mint Bliss and put it on the back of your neck and be like, oh, that's glorious? Because it's hot and cold at the same time. So it feels really good. It feels like, oh, my muscles actually relaxing on the back of my neck, but I'm not overheating. I love that. And I love that I pay for my own products, right? So I don't have to buy it from a grocery store. I don't have to buy it from Shoppers. I can just keep it in your purse. The other thing you need to keep in your purse all the time is Golden or Silver Moon lip gloss. Okay, do it. Cream and sugar lip gloss used to be my bread and butter. And now it's Golden. Because when I am out with my girlfriends drinking wine or whatever, All I have to do is pull that out and put it on, and everyone goes like, ooh, that's pretty. If I put a bold lip on, what did they say? Oh, you can pull off a bold lip. Isn't that nice for you? They will never try it. And they don't think it would look good on them. But a golden or silver moon lip gloss, they can see that. They're down for that. And then don't be whipping out catalogs and order forms, because that gets weird and awkward with your girlfriends. Just be like, I can get you one. I'm going to text you right now so we don't forget. And then you can follow up with her tomorrow and find out what else she wants. Because chances are, and I know you're probably the same as me, but your girlfriends get left in the dust for makeup and product because you don't want to bug them. So then your customers become the people that you talk to about product, and then your other people, you're like, no, it's fine. And then they pull out some lip gloss from some other company and you're like, are you kidding? Like, for real? I actually ran over Erin's compact in the in the parking lot once because she pulled out some CoverGirl powder compact in front of me. So I threw it and then, yeah, ran it over. Gel mask. How many of you know my hack for gel mask? Sorry, Transformers, you guys know this already. I use this as primer. Okay, I put this on underneath my cream to powder foundation, underneath a lot of my foundations, because I have oily skin that tends to get dry sometimes or flaky, because oily skin can still do that. And it creates that lack of slip factor, and it makes it all stick to my face better. And it's just a teeny tiny amount, like the size of a chocolate chip over your whole face. Fabulous. So if somebody wants cream to powder foundation, but they have dry skin and they just want that more coverage, or maybe that ability to just buff it on, because like cream to powder is actually really easy. If you get the right color, it doesn't take a lot of work to make it work, right? It's faster, honestly, sometimes than lots of other foundations. And so gel mask is the best for a primer. It's great for humidity. It's also awesome as a leave-in hair conditioner and for frizzy hair. Like, amazing for that. So in this temperature, when it's all like staticky, sorry, BC girls, you guys don't have this issue, but those of us in Alberta, our hair is like static city. Gel mask is great for that. It's also awesome if you're wearing a skirt or a dress or something that is all staticky. Gel mask inside, like on your pantyhose, okay, or underneath your shirt or whatever, and then it stops the static from happening because it creates that hydration. Exfoliating powder, the Naturally Line exfoliating powder. Joy told us this, Nathan Moore's husband, Nathan Moore's wife, our president and Mary Kay, that she uses it as a dry shampoo. And it's awesome. My recommendation for those of us of the brunette or redhead persuasion is don't put that in right away and expect it to look good, because it will not be, it will stay white for a bit. Put it on before you go to bed. Just a little bit in the roots of your hair, and you will wake up all volumized. It's awesome. Actually, my favorite dry shampoo I've ever tried in my life. Who knew? Do you also know that you can use exfoliating powder as a satin lip scrub instead of satin lips? With a little bit of lip balm or a little bit of oil or even just water. And what I really love about the exfoliating powder is that you can get up really close and personal in this area as well with exfoliating powder and really buff without worrying about getting all red like you would with microdermabrasion, because that's a bit more abrasive, right? Even though they're round beads, they're still going to, it's going to feel not so good later. You're going to be taking off a lot more skin. But I mean, right under my glasses right here, this gets really overdone with dry, dead skin, because I don't tend to, like when I'm doing my microderm, right? I'm going this way and I forget. Right in here. How many of you guys do? Or right here. Or right here. So you can sit with your your up close mirror and just little bit of water and your exfoliating powder and just really give her. I took so much dead skin off the other day. I was like, oh, this is magic. And usually I'm all about the peel. and the microderm. Okay, what time are we at? Still, we're past our time. Oh, well, that's easy. All right, so unmute yourselves here. Anybody have any questions, comments, concerns? What was your best thing? What was anything that you want me to go over again?
The exfoliating powder is a dry shampoo. It doesn't how is it different from the translucent powder as a dry shampoo?
You can use that too, but the dry shampoo, the exfoliating powder, because it's got that clay base or whatever that is, it soaks up way more oil. So translucent powder, I like if I need it in an emergency, then I'll translucent because of course it won't leave any white. Like it's done, okay? But exfoliating powder, I love it the night before, you know, and I just put it in at my roots and then just rub it in a bit, and I don't even worry about it. Like I don't super rub it in, and it really absorbs all that oil, and I brush my hair in the morning and it's good.
It doesn't get hot?
No. It's awesome. And like Joy's blonde, so when she first told us that, I was like, oh yeah, that's gonna go real well for me. But I thought I would try it at night because I do like a dry shampoo at night more than during the day. It doesn't leave that buildup if you do it at night because it really gets a chance to get in there. But like this is day 3 hair, you guys. Okay. So yeah. I ordered one of those Madison braids. I'm very excited about it. Maybe it will as well help with the day 5 hair, you know. All right, anybody else?
I like all the tips. I found them really helpful. I'm definitely the Mint Bliss. I'm going to town with that.
It's the best. How many of you only sell Mint Bliss at like Christmas? Right? I mean, it's not something we sell a lot, but now, a lot.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Anything you need clarification?
I like the tips for getting them away from the table.
The hardest thing, you just have to be firm. Okay, here's the #1 hack that I really use in my Mary Kay business. You know, the awesome thing about Mary Kay is that you can do whatever you want. And the unawesome thing about Mary Kay is that you can do whatever you want. And so sometimes if you are the one that's controlling the hostess program, or you're the one that's controlling what they get for free or whatever, you can't use the company as an excuse, right? If you were selling like Party Light, you could be like, sorry, that's the deal. If you don't have 6 people at your party, you don't get the discount. Fair? But it's very easy to get pushed around by a hostess or somebody else because you can do what you want. Okay? So I want you to fall back on that's the Mary Kay policy. You think they're going to call Mary Kay and find out? No, right? So I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, but the hostess program with Mary Kay is this. They have never met another Mary Kay lady. They're fine. That's all you need to do. Fall back on the company. I'm so sorry. I'm only allowed to give you 1 dip of the lash intensity ones. One sample. Microdermabrasion, my very first time trying it, she gave me this teeny tiny little bit, and I did one side of my nose, and I was like, oh, I need some more for the other side. She's like, I'm not allowed to give you any more. And I totally believed her and bought it. It was fine, okay? So don't be afraid to just be like, it's just a little white lie. On the Pearly Gates big screen, you're not gonna go to hell for that, I promise. And if you do, call me, I guess. I don't know, you can haunt me. It'll be fine. But just be assertive. Just be like, oh, I'm so sorry. We're not allowed to actually finish the transaction at the table. Mary Kay Ash always said that your money was your business. I'm so sorry. We're not really allowed to do that. I'm just going to take you over here. Wouldn't you rather talk to me one-on-one? I would. I'm awesome. Come and see me. And don't take no for an answer. Do you remember in Friends? Don't take no for an answer. Don't let love fly away when Phoebe thinks she's doing a musical. No, just me. Awesome. All right. Okay. Be assertive. Aggressive. Be aggressive. All right. Anybody else?
I was just gonna say one more thing about the Mint Bliss in the summertime is I use it on my heat rash and I sell it that way.
Uh-huh. And bug bites. And it acts like a mosquito repellent. So does After Sun Gel. It really helps with mosquitoes. Like I put that on and I don't have to worry about anything else. Oh, and charcoal. Okay, if you guys go camping and you go to like gross areas or whatever to get duck itch, do you know duck itch? we go camping at Maple Lake and the kids inevitably, somebody gets duck itch. So it's like the little larvae underneath their skin. You're enjoying this itchiness. Enjoy. Anyway, we put charcoal mask all over these kids and it pulled all the gunk and all the bacteria out of their skin. And then we put after sun gel on over top and they were fine. They looked hilarious because they were covered in black charcoal mask, but it worked. So there, spider bites work really well with charcoal mask too. Now again, Mary Kay does not sanction these things, but I don't care. And charcoal mask is the easiest way to see your chin hairs. It's true. So if you need to pluck your chin hairs, put the charcoal mask on and let it dry. And they'll all show up. Okay, anybody else have anything? You're good? Hopefully I gave you a little giggle. If you are renovating your office, I highly recommend pegboard. It is my jam. I wallpapered it so it was pretty. And then that's what everything in my office is hung up by because somebody was like, how are these hanging there? Pegboard. Old school, garage, pegboard. And little baskets, okay? Awesome, I love you guys. Have a good night. Thanks for getting on. Oh, the draw.